I'm here with my colleague Mabel Elmore. We were just at her community office, which is just a couple blocks down the street, and which is still full of the materials celebrating Lapu Lapu Day, and people who've been quite traumatized by the last 24 hours. It's hard for me. I have just such a sick feeling. It was about 24 hours ago, just a few blocks from here. I was here with my daughter on stage with Mabel and the organizers, celebrating a community in this province that does nothing but give, has nothing but love. I don't think there's a British Columbian that hasn't been touched in some way by the Filipino community. You can't go to a place that delivers care in our province and not meet a member of that community. The long-term care homes, our hospitals, childcare, schools. This is a community that gives and gives. And yesterday was a celebration of their culture. When I think about what's core to my experiences with the Filipino community, it's family, it's love, it's celebration, and that's what yesterday was. Music and food and joy. It was last night, probably about 8:45, when I first started getting messages from community members, just wanted to make sure that I knew about what had happened. And at that point, it wasn't clear to me or to them, was it an accident? Was it an intentional attack? And I'm learning, like you, about the extent of what happened last night from the police. I spent this morning talking with community members, some of whom spent the night at the hospital, some of whom were right there, and know that just a fortune of timing that they weren't in the path of that vehicle. Volunteers. The grief right now and the solidarity with the Filipino community is not just Vancouver, it's not just British Columbia, it's national and it's even international. The messages are coming in of support for this amazing group of people. And it's hard for me, and I know for many people, in this moment, not to feel like friends of ours who we love, who've been attacked in this way, not to feel rage. The man who did this, who murdered innocent people, who destroyed a community celebration, and we don't know all the answers yet. We don't know why. But I want to turn the rage that I feel into ensuring that we stand with the Filipino community, that we deliver what they need, that we stand with those families who have lost loved ones, those who have been injured, that we are not defined by this. This event does not define us and the Filipino community or that celebration that I know it's hard to believe it in this moment, but I know we will come back stronger. This is a community that has seen hardship and always comes back stronger. And we'll be there standing with the Filipino community in Vancouver and British Columbia to make sure that that's the case. I was so moved by a couple of things that happened in real time last night. The message from the paramedics: we're overwhelmed. We're going to be a little bit slower to calls because of the volume of demand right now as a result of this incident. And then almost immediately after, don't worry, we're back to full strength. We've had paramedics call who want to come in. We've got 7 more ambulances on shift. And I know it wasn't just the paramedics. It was the police. It was the fire department. It was the workers in the hospitals. Everyone from the people who keep the hospital clean, to the lab techs, to the doctors and nurses who responded to this tragedy. And I want to say, many of whom themselves are Filipino. may have known people who were out celebrating that day. I want to say my deep appreciation on behalf of the entire province to those people who stepped up in heroic ways last night. To the people who grabbed the perpetrator and held him for police, who restrained themselves in a moment of what must have been unbelievable restraint, to not exact justice right there in that moment, but instead to turn him over to authorities. This is a community that is suffering right now. We're going to put our arms around them as all British Columbians. We're going to stand with them. We're going to support them just like they support us every single day in this province. It's their turn. It's their turn to get care from us. And I want to thank Mabel and her team, who's ground zero on this street, for responding to the tragedy. And I want to thank the organizers of that incredible event. It's an event that was needed and deserved. It was a celebration that was overdue for the people who make this province work, the Filipino community. This evening I'll be meeting with the Prime Minister and with leaders from the Filipino community. I've had outreach from the leaders of every major party. We've had conversations with the Consul General of the Philippines, and we're all working together to make sure that the Filipino community is supported.